What's going on, everyone? Today we have a very interesting rebuild here on the channel because I did a couple earlier on in the year, but I was kind of waiting for something new. And now we have that something new thanks to TheMadScientist. We're going to be doing a retro rebuild with Liverpool today. Now, what exactly is retro about it? So this entire database is from 0708 that TheMadScientist put countless hours into and developed for the FM community. I'll be putting links to his Twitter as well as his Patreon down below in the description if you guys wish to join his Patreon. And I believe it's £1 is what I ended up paying to be able to get this database and everything that comes with it, and it is well worth it, so definitely check it out. And down below in the description as well will be a link to my Discord where you will be able to join and download this specific save file from if you want to carry it on. So without further ado, let's get into this rebuild with retro Liverpool. All right, so here we are. Welcome to Liverpool in 2023, but with the 0708 roster, plus some transfers I've already made. So we will be having Mr. Stevie G back at the club. He's obviously going to be the captain, and I'm hoping to keep him for the entire rebuild as he is absolutely incredible. Basically, in any midfield position, I mean, you look at his mentals, he's going to be absolutely integral to what we do here. We also get to have 23-year-old Fernando Torres up top, 25-year-old Xabi Alonso, and a 23-year-old Javier Mascherano. And not to mention Liverpool icon Jamie Carragher. And like I said, I did bring in some players. I brought in 3 players in total. Absolutely stellar players as well. One really surprised me on how quick he actually is, because in reality he was not the quickest of players, but he's pretty darn quick in this, and I was like, you know what, he has some insane potential, so why not bring him in? And that player was Mr. Per Mertesacker from Werder Bremen. So we brought him in for a very cheap price. I believe it was around like £5.5 million. Then we went to Porto and we picked up Ricardo Quaresma for around the same price. And then we hit up Bayern Munich and brought in Bastian Schweinsteiger, who we brought in for £6 million. Which after those moves, it has our side looking like this. We're going to be playing a 4-3-3 within the first season. This is, in my opinion, the best 11 that we could possibly have. We do have quite a few players here, and a lot of players are going to develop pretty well, I'm hoping. Especially Ricardo Quaresma and Schweinsteiger with the potential that they have. Same with Mr. Fernando Torres, Alonso, Gerrard. I'm hoping that we can keep this midfield trio together with Gerrard, Alonso, and Mascherano. We will probably switch up formation eventually, but for right now, I definitely want to have them as a trio together because they're absolutely fantastic. And in our first season, we will be in the Champions League, so hopefully we can do something in Europe, as well as bringing in some domestic trophies as well. The main aim of this rebuild is to just win as many Premier Leagues as we possibly can, because honestly, we did not win anything with having this type of team in reality. Like that midfield trio, you would think that we would have won a couple of Premier League titles, but there was one team that was just absolutely ludicrous during that time, and that was Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United. But Chelsea were also pretty darn good during that time as well. So hopefully we're going to be able to bring some silverware to Liverpool, and hopefully we can do so in Season 1. So let's go on ahead, sim Season 1, see how we do. So how did we end up doing in the Premier League? We ended up finishing in 3rd, as Man United only lost 1 game, which was to Newcastle 1-0. They finished on 103 points, Chelsea on 93 points. We finished on 79. Next highest was Tottenham on 66, which Tottenham actually has a very solid team during this time as well. So how do we do in the other competitions? In the Champions League, we got knocked out in the round of 16 by Valencia. In the FA Cup, we got knocked out in the 4th round by Newcastle United. And we ended up losing in the final of the League Cup to Arsenal by a score 1-0 in extra time. When looking at how the players performed overall, we did okay, but I definitely think that we can get some more goal scoring output from Fernando Torres for sure. Dirk Kuyt had an incredible season, honestly, only starting 5 matches, coming off the bench at 31, but he still put in a good shift of 17 goals. And a match I would love to highlight, actually, is a 6-0 win that we had over Aston Villa, kind of towards the end of the season. So everything was winding down, and the players were just giving their all, trying to see if we can at least maybe push for second, as Man United, only losing that one game, definitely had the league wrapped up. But Mr. Steve Finnan did absolutely fantastic in this game. He ended up having an assist, and Ryan Babel, of all players, ended up having himself a hat trick as well. So you can definitely see with this 4-3-3, there is the potential for us to do some great things. I am thinking, though, however, that we should probably at least switch to a 4-2-3-1, maybe play Stevie G as a number 10, see how he would perform there. But we get another great goal here from Mr. Chabi Alonso. So having that game towards the end of the season showed that we definitely have what it takes to be very competitive. I mean, we were pretty competitive throughout. We finished in third place, though, on 79 points. Next highest was 93, which was Chelsea, and then obviously Man U on that 103. But it's kind of like we are the top 3 teams within the league, and no one's really going to be able to touch us, I think, for a majority of this rebuild. But we definitely need some reinforcements to come in to help strengthen this team. We've got £93.7 million to do so. So let's go ahead to season 2 and see who we brought in. All right, so here we are, season 2. We bring in 4 players. 2 of them are defenders, and 2 of them are, they can play number 10, they can also play wingers or central midfield as well. So we made sure that we had some versatility this time. Now, the cheapest purchase for us was a right back from Schalke by the name of Rafinha. Attribute-wise, he looks absolutely fantastic, so hopefully he ends up doing something of note for us, because I mean, when you look at his attributes, he's also much younger than Finnan. He is 22 years of age, where Finnan is now over 30 years of age. Hopefully he brings some pace, which I mean, obviously we see has loads of it, and we definitely need him to produce big time, because I mean, having a rotation between him and Finnan, that's going to be absolutely insane. So hopefully they can both help us on that right side achieve some great things this season. The next player I brought in was Mr. Wesley Sneijder. Now, we have a lot of players that can play as a number 10 or central midfield, so he's kind of more so like a squad player, and he kind of knows that, but he is absolutely fantastic. We brought him in from Real Madrid. Now, he did cost a little bit more than Rafinha did. Rafinha was only like $10.5 million, whereas Wesley Sneijder was $17.5 million. So, I mean, you look at his attributes, he's definitely worth it, and he is a set-piece machine with the free kick taking of 17, and he is great at long shots, which we all know that from reality. He was absolutely fantastic, and he is amazing with both feet as well. So, I mean, why not bring in someone that's just going to add an elite level of talent to the side? Then we brought in another player, another youngster as well, who can play as a left winger, a number 10, or a right winger. He's probably going to be our left winger. It is Mr. Matías Fernandes. We brought him in from Villarreal for £19.5 million. He looks absolutely ridiculous, and when you look at this holy trinity right here of 17 dribbling, 18 finishing, 16 first touch, he's got incredible playmaking ability in 17 passing, 18 technique, 18 vision, good off the ball. I mean, he has everything that I want and just any player in general, and he can play as a number 10, left winger, right winger, or if we wanted to, I could probably try him to play as a striker, but Fernando Torres has that on lock. So we're probably going to be playing him as that left winger, but he also likes big matches and he's consistent. So I have a feeling this dude's going to be pretty special for this side. And then I went out and spent big on this guy. We brought in Christian Chivu from Inter Milan for £26 million. So him and John Onarissa, they are going to be our left backs. He can also, though, play center back. So him and Mertesacker, him and Jamie Carragher, they can all kind of rotate there. But him and John can also rotate at left back. So, I mean, we've got some incredible depth now. And, I mean, having a vet like Christian Chivu come in, that's going to be absolutely awesome. All right, so for the time being in Season 2, we're going to still be rocking that 4-3-3. We're going to see if we can get any closer with it. If we can't, we will 100% probably be changing to that 4-2-3-1, being that I did bring in some players that can play number 10s, but they can also play central midfield or on the wing, so still works out for us. We've got that depth. However, if we put it to the best 11, this is what it ends up recommending for us. So Finnan will be playing over Rafinha, Chivu will be playing over Jean Arisa, Carragher with Mertesacker in the back. And like I said, Matías Fernández would probably end up being that left winger, and it does slot him in at left wing. So it'll be him, Ricardo Quaresma, and Torres. We still got that midfield trio rocking right there as well with Pepe Reina and net. So hopefully this season we can bring home at least one trophy, because this team with the reinforcements that we brought in definitely seems like we should be able to do something of note. So let's go on, simulate season 2, and see how we do. All right, so how did we do season 2 within the Prem? We got one more point than last year, so we finished on 80 points. However, we dropped one spot as well. We finished in 4th in the league, 1 point behind Man United, 4 points behind Arsenal, who finished in 2nd, and then Chelsea ended up winning the league this time around on 86 points. And I mean, it's good to see a different league winner. We didn't want Man United winning the league the entire time, because that would have sucked for us. But also, us dropping a spot isn't great as well. Hopefully we don't get sacked. I don't think that we would, being that we only missed out on 3rd by a point, lost out on the title by 2 games. So hopefully we can cut down on these losses. I think we are going to be switching to a 4-2-3-1, because sides like Blackburn, we should definitely be beating. We lost to them both times. That is not good for us if we are to ever win a title here with Liverpool. And when it comes to the other competitions, we got knocked out in the round of 16 by FC Porto, who are absolutely ridiculous in 07-08, that era right there. Now, FA Cup-wise, got knocked out in the quarterfinal by Chelsea, and then in the League Cup, we got knocked out in the 3rd round by Portsmouth. So we definitely need to change something. Definitely thinking the formation will help us big time when we do switch it. We do have the FIFA Club World Cup coming up, so we're probably going to play that 4-2-3-1 in that and see how we do. See if we can maybe win that. So the showcase game for season 2 was actually our first game of the new year. We ended up taking on Man City. They ended up going up in the 15th minute on us, and then we just kind of unleashed everything on them. And we end up winning this game 6-1. Now, what I would love to talk about within this game is that we have a lot of squad players performing in this game. So it shows that we have that depth. We have the opportunity to overcome Chelsea and to overcome Man United as well. I mean, the title race was much closer this season, only separated by 6 points between us and the top. And I mean, we've got young players as well who are developing pretty well. I mean, Babel, absolutely fantastic. And I mean, Bastian Schweinsteiger also doing pretty darn well also. And that's most definitely what we want. We want these younger players producing. We need them to, especially depth-wise. We need kind of everyone contributing where they can. And player performance-wise this season, we definitely did perform better. So bringing in the players like Matías Fernández, that definitely helped. I mean, he was our best player this season. I said prior, he's probably going to do something pretty special. I mean, you look at his attributes and it's like, okay, yeah, producing 27 goals, 13 assists at 23 years of age. He's definitely going to be able to be a consistent player for us. Plus, he likes big matches, and he does have that consistency. But we got Fernando Torres still not really putting up those goal numbers that I know he can do. So I think switching to that 4-2-3-1 will definitely help. Stevie G, though, 18 and 19, that was absolutely vital in making sure that we were in that title race. But going into season 3, we're definitely going to need to spend some money again to help improve the side, and also going to be switching to that 4-2-3-1, which the first time that we'll really be able to see how we do with it will be the FIFA Club World Cup. So hopefully we can try and win that. And for our transfer budget heading into season 3, we've got £92.7 million to make some improvements. So hopefully we can bring in a big time signing. But now let's go ahead and get on to season 3. So we ended up making 2 signings for our side. Unfortunately, neither one was able to play in the Club World Cup, which we will get on to momentarily. The first player that we brought in was Sergio Aguero. And you're probably thinking, why did you bring in Sergio Aguero? He's a striker. Well, he can play central midfield on the wings or as a number 10 in this world, which is absolutely awesome. So we will probably be playing him behind Fernando Torres most likely, and then we'll have Stevie G as that left central midfield role and Xabi Alonso or Mascherano the right central midfield role, because having Sergio Aguero along with Fernando Torres, with Quaresma and Fernandez, that's going to be absolutely insane. And then I knew we needed more quality at right back. Finnan and Rafinha just, I don't think they were going to do it for us. So we went to Zaragoza and we brought in Carlos Diogo. Now, we did spend our entire transfer budget on these two players, but they're definitely worth it, especially when you look at Carlos's attributes. He is absolutely fantastic. The only rating that is not above a 10 is his free kick taking. We don't need him for free kicks. We need him for his crossing ability, his passing ability, and his defensive ability, which he is absolutely fantastic at all those. But like I said, we did not have them for the Club World Cup. How did we do in the Club World Cup? We got to the final, where we ended up losing to Chelsea 3-0. So it's doing better. It's helping us for sure. It helped us get to the final of the Club World Cup, but we still can't beat Chelsea. So that's a problem. But I realized, well, we can't beat Chelsea, and the reason's absolutely insane. They bought Ronaldo for Man United, and I have no idea how they did it, but they did it, and he's not the only one that they bought. They also bought Lionel Messi. So they have Ronaldo, and they have Messi for the rest of this rebuild, which I tried getting Messi. He wanted to come, but then Barcelona offered him a new contract. He accepted the contract. Still had the same release clause, and I didn't think that he would accept it if we went in again, being that he just re-upped his contract. So Chelsea then triggered it, and then they got him. So we missed out on Messi, but we did get Aguero. So at least we get one Argentinian. So expectations for this season. Try and beat an insane Chelsea team. If we can do that, that's going to be absolutely amazing. And when looking at the side, this is the best 11. This is going to be the 4-2-3-1 that we're playing. I'm moving those central midfielders up to the central midfield area, not the defensive midfield area. So this is going to be a little bit more of an attacking 4-2-3-1, which I think we have the goal scoring ability to be able to pull it off. I mean, we've got Torres, Aguero, Quaresma, Fernandez, like I said. We're going to be playing Gerrard and Alonso together a majority of the time. Hopefully, Mascherano is also going to be getting in there. Same with Bastian Schweinsteiger, and hopefully Wesley Sneijder will as well. And I mean, we're looking good. We're developing well. You look at the ratings, we're building a super team here. So hopefully we have what it takes to take on Moneybags Chelsea, because they look absolutely insane. But what is nice, when we look at the season preview, we're slight favorites over Chelsea to win the league. So hopefully we can pull it off, because as we know, Chelsea's team's absolutely insane. And what proves it's even more insane is that Micah Richards is one of the best players in the world. So big up Big Meeks. So guess without further ado, let's go ahead, simulate through season 3 and see if we can bring home some silverware. Alrighty, so season 3 has come and gone. How did we do? We won the league. We won the league by a point on the last day, which that is very nerve-wracking. We won it by a point over Manchester United. Newcastle finished 3rd, and Moneybags Chelsea with Ronaldo and Messi, they finished in 4th on 76 points. So that is great to see. We scored 119 goals as well, by the way. So like I said, we have that goal scoring ability in this side, and we definitely proved it this season. That also wasn't the only trophy that we ended up winning, because we ended up winning the Leagues Cup as well. We got knocked out in the quarterfinal, though, however, of the FA Cup, and we did get knocked out in the round of 16 of the Champions League by Real Madrid. But before we take a look at the highlight match of the season, I want to look at how the players performed overall. In the 4-2-3-1 definitely helped bring out that goal scoring ability in Fernando Torres. He had 38 goals this time, scoring the most so far. Matías Fernandez with 20 goals and 11 assists. Sergio Aguero playing behind him with 20 and 8. Stevie G still doing Stevie G things. Ricardo Quaresma having 27 assists is absolutely fantastic. What I would have done to actually have Ricardo Quaresma play at Liverpool in reality, it would have been absolutely amazing with him up there. Bastian Schweinsteiger, though, still performing very well. And Jamie Carragher keeps on scoring double-digit goals. So our set pieces must be pretty good. And, I mean, just everyone contributing. Ryan Babel has been performing very, very well. I mean, as a squad player, this is absolutely insane. I'd love to have him as a squad player in any side. So the highlight match for Season 3, it's going to be the League Cup final. We actually took on Newcastle in the League Cup final, where Bilal Yeletinov, I believe that's how you say his name, he put Newcastle up early on, but Stevie G's going to find Fernando Torres to get us back level. Then Rissa's going to find Babel. Babel, with a Rabona cross attempt, messes it up, but somehow the ball still finds Fernando Torres to bag himself a brace, put us up 2-1. This is in extra time, by the way. Babel is going to find Fernando Torres, who nets himself a hat trick, and then Newcastle at the very end gives us a little bit of a scare as Hutchinson is going to dribble down the right side, find Michael Owen, and he bags a goal. But we still go on to win 3-2. So a double in season 3, definitely take that. That is Liverpool's first league title win in this world since, I believe it was 89? Yes, it was 89-90. So all that time without a league title, and then boom, right there, we finally get it done. And even though we just won the league and we won the League Cup, we're going into season 4 with our lowest transfer budget yet. So we'll see what we can do improvement-wise. I don't know where we'll be able to improve, because after a league win, even though it was only by a point, and a League Cup win as well, I think this is the team that can get the job done at the end of the day, but we'll see if we bring in anyone else. Let's move on to season 4. So, who do we bring in with all that money? We brought in absolutely no one. We didn't bring in anyone. No transfers in. Last transfer that we made was Carlos Diogo, but we did have some players leaving. Steve Finnan left on a free. A couple players in the past have left as well, was like Dirk Kuyt and a couple other players as well. But for majority of it, we still basically have everyone, which means that best 11 is still basically the best 11. However, this time it puts in Mascherano instead of Xabi Alonso. We're still going to be rocking this 4-2-3-1 as well, but we do have 74 million pounds now. So if we do end up making any transfers, I will definitely make sure to let you all know, but I don't think we're going to make any transfers this season. We're going to rock with the same group, see if we can win the title and get the job done once again. And now I am considering making one more change to the tactic. That would be the role that Aguero is playing. I think that we can get a little bit more goal output out of him, even though he did score 20 goals as an advanced playmaker on attack. But I definitely think that we can get some more goals out of him. We're going to see how it goes this season. We might make that change come season 5 and see if we 100% need to do it to potentially win the league by more points. Because if we end up winning based on goal differential, that'll definitely prove that we need a little bit more goal output. But we're going to rock with this tactic once again. So let's go ahead, simulate season 4, and hopefully win back-to-back Premier League titles. All right, so how do we do season 4? We won the league again. And once again, it was by 1 point. It was by 1 point that we won the league again. We finished on 90, Chelsea on 89, and then Man United on 86. Man City now find themselves in the top 4 as well. We scored 115 goals for. We scored 4 goals less than last season. But, I mean, still, at the end of the day, we did enough to win the league. And we kind of did it because of one reason with Chelsea. They ended up drawing 0-0 with Man City on the last day of the season. Whereas we ended up beating Tottenham 4-1 on the last day of the season. So at the end of the day, we had what it took to not bottle it. When it comes to the other competitions though, how did we do? We got knocked out in the round of 16 again in the Champions League by Bayern Munich. Got knocked out in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup by Newcastle United. I really want to win the FA Cup, so hopefully in season 5 we can do that. And we were runners-up again in the League Cup, runners-up in the Community Shield. So we've been to 3 League Cup finals already, lost 2, won 1, but we have now won 2 out of 4 Premier League titles so far. So I'll definitely take that. We went back-to-back. Now there's a lot of pressure to try and do the three-peat, and I think that making that tactical change I want to make on that 4-2-3-1 will definitely help out a little bit. So, player performance-wise, Matías Fernández, 34 goals, 13 assists as a winger or as a number 10. Then we have Fernando Torres. He scored 10 goals last this season, so that's kind of annoying. He had 28 goals. Sergio Aguero, though, scoring 4 more. He had 24. Babel, once again, up there. Like, he is a super sub. He's absolutely fantastic. Bastian Schweinsteiger doing well. Ricardo Quaresma outdoing last season's assist numbers. He had 28 assists this season. And Xabi Alonso at 16 as well. Jamie Carragher still with double-digit goals. That's absolutely insane. And speaking of Jamie Carragher, there was a little bit of a bug when I was doing this. It did not tell me that anyone offered Jamie Carragher a contract, and he is leaving us on a free at the end of the season. He's joining Olympique Lyon at 33 years of age. And I mean, it would have been awesome to keep him the entire rebuild, but being that he is 33 years of age, maybe we can bring in some young center backs to kind of bring some youthfulness and make sure that a dynasty can for sure happen here at Liverpool. Because, I mean, a back-to-back is impressive, but if we can do a three-peat and kind of have a whole new defense as a whole, that would be absolutely fantastic. And speaking of those improvements, we have the largest transfer budget that we have had so far of £128 million. So we're definitely going to be able to do some business. Now, when it comes to the showcase match here in Season 4, it could only be one game. It, of course, is going to be the game that sealed our back-to-back Premier League title with the 4-1 win over Tottenham. We scored 3 goals in the first 16 minutes as well, which was absolutely insane. That kind of solidified like we were doing our job. We just needed Man City to help us out for a change, and they definitely did by holding Chelsea to a 0-0 draw, which Chelsea probably hated the entire time. But we end up, once again, winning 4-1 in a back-to-back Premier League title. So, with everything done, we now move on to the 5th and final season, where if we can pull off a three-peat, that's absolutely insane. I want to try and win the FA Cup. That is one thing that I really, really do want to win, because we've won the League Cup, we've won the Prem. We haven't won the Community Shield yet, but I definitely want to win the FA Cup. And Champions League-wise, I want to try and get past the round of 16. Everyone is so good in this era. Like, it is so hard to perform well in the Champions League, but if we can at least get to like the quarters or semis, I'll be happy with that. But let's go ahead, see the improvements that we make to the side using that £128 million, and then we will see how we perform within Season 5. All right, so this time around we actually did have quite a few outgoing, so I am definitely going to be covering them. Like we already know, Jamie Carragher left on a free, but Daniel Agger left to Inter Milan for £50 million. Rafinha is joining Chelsea for £15 million. We then parted ways with an absolutely fantastic player. Loved him in reality, loved him in this as well. But we parted ways with Pepe Reina. One reason was because I wanted just more solidity in the back. I felt like we were conceding too many goals, not getting enough clean sheets. And also, he wanted to move to a better division, which we're in the Premier League, we're ranked second, and there was only one other league that he could go to, and he went to it, and he joined Valencia for £50 million. But then we also lost our best right back, Mr. Carlos Diogo, to Real Madrid for £40 million. So all that got added on to the £128 million that we already had. So we definitely got to spending. And the first player that I brought in was integral because we definitely needed a goalkeeper. And I wanted to make sure that we got the best sweeper keeper out there. So I went and got Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer is now the Liverpool goalkeeper in this universe at 25 years of age. We went and got him from Schalke. Spent a pretty penny to get him, but he's most definitely well worth it. We also went to Schalke and we got Vincent Kompany. Like I said earlier, probably going to go for some younger defenders. Vincent Kompany at 25 years of age, he fits that build. We did still need some veteran leadership back there, so I also brought in Milan Stepanov from Porto. And I went and got an absolute bargain in Brazil. His name was Thiago Silva. We brought him in for $4.7 million from Fluminense. Wanted to make sure that we had some versatility back there, as Thiago Silva and Vincent Kompany can both also play right back or defensive midfield. And I went and got Branislav Ivanovic, so he could play right back or central defense as well. And I went and got probably one of the most underrated fullbacks ever. Like, this dude he always produced. But he was at a smaller club in a smaller league, so people didn't really take too much notice of him. We got an absolute bargain for this man. Dario Serna from Shakhtar Donetsk. He can play as right back or left back. He can also play right wing. So he can do everything that we need him to do. And at 29 years of age, I was like, you know what? It's the last season of the rebuild. Let's just bring in someone that's definitely going to be able to do a job for us. But thinking about the future, and for those of you that want to take over this rebuild, I brought in 3 new gens, and one of them has a very, very cool name. Now, one was Graham Gebbe from Hibernian. He is a 18-year-old center back who looks to have a pretty decent amount of potential, and he's already good enough to be a squad player in the Prem. Brought in a striker who's good with both feet. His name is Aaron Williams. We brought him in from Sheffield United. Once again, some pretty decent potential. I think that he'll do all right. And then I went and got a wonder kid from Arsenal, and his name is Themendu Deadfield. He is an 18-year-old Englishman who looks absolutely fantastic so far. Incredible potential. And I mean, I don't know why Arsenal was willing to sell him to me, but they were. And I am ecstatic about it because he looks absolutely fantastic already. And he's only going to get better because he's 18 years of age. So that was the transfer business. This is the best 11. We are still rocking with this 4-2-3-1. However, we are going to make that change tactically. What are we changing Aguero's role to? We're going to make him a shadow striker, plain and simple. I don't think I'm going to add anything to him. I might add shoot more often, but that's about it. I want a little bit more of goal output from them, and I think if we can get a little bit more goal output from Aguero and Torres, because I mean, Matías Fernandes already does what he needs to do. Same with Ricardo Quaresma, especially assist-wise from Quaresma. But if we can get these two just scoring on all cylinders, we're going to be completely fine and be able to complete that three-peat. And when you look at the ability, this is a super team. This is definitely probably one of the best Liverpool sides ever assembled. And I think that we definitely have what it takes to do the three-peat. Hopefully we can at least win the FA Cup and maybe, just maybe, squeak into the semifinals of the Champions League. I think that would be a pretty good final season. And maybe win a treble if we can do it. Mainly being the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and the Premier League title. I think that would be awesome. But without further ado, let's go ahead, simulate Season 5, and see how we do in our final season at the helm of Liverpool. All right, here we are at the end of the rebuild. How did we do in Season 5? We pulled it off. We did the three-peat, and we won by a better point differential this time. We didn't score as many goals. We only scored 109 goals, but I mean, I still think that shadow striker switch, I mean, that was the only change that we made with it. Yes, we brought in some players reinforcement-wise, but points-wise, it gave us a little bit of a boost. So we finished in first on 91. Then you got Arsenal and Chelsea finishing in second and third. Tottenham in fourth. Man United slipping down to fifth. So, I mean, great season overall. We solidified our dynasty, if that is what you want to call it, by doing a three-peat here in the Prem. When it comes to the other competitions, though, how did we do? Well, we were runners-up in the Champions League. We won the FA Cup finally, got knocked out in the semifinals of the League Cup by Man U, and we were runners-up in the Community Shield. So in our final season, we almost did a quadruple. That would have been absolutely insane if we did that in the final season. And the most annoying part about it, to where we could have done a treble, we only lost 1-0 in the Champions League final, and it was to Ajax of all teams. So props to Ajax for winning the Champions League. But how did we not have what it takes to at least score a goal and force that extra time? I have no idea. All right, so player production-wise, how did everyone do? Fernando Torres scored more goals this time. He had 37, so one less than his best. Matías Fernandes, 34 goals and 26 assists. I think Matías Fernandes is my favorite buy throughout this entire rebuild. He's been absolutely insane. In 129 games, he has 71 goals. So that's pretty good for a winger. He's still only 26 years of age, and he's basically one of the best players in the world. Mr. Sergio Aguero with 21 goals, 17 assists. Quaresma, once again, in the 20s for his assists, 26 assists. So his past 3 seasons have been 28, 27, 26. That is absolutely fantastic. Xabi Alonso still putting up some numbers, same with Stevie G. We don't have any center backs scoring a absurd amount of goals. So I guess Jamie Carragher was just that dude when it came to set pieces, because no one else put up double-digit goals that I can see, at least, that would have been playing as a center back. But Mr. Ryan Babel, once again, with double-digit goals. I mean, if you need a super sub and you're using this retro database, definitely bring him in. And one thing I did want to check with Mr. Manuel Neuer was those clean sheets. And I'm pretty sure he had the most amount of clean sheets total so far throughout these 5 seasons. He had 18 clean sheets, as well as 2 player of the match performances. So, being that this is our final highlight match, I decided to go with our biggest win from Season 5. We ended up beating Charlton Athletic within the league. They ended up making it to the Prem. We beat them 8-0, which, I mean, that's absolutely fantastic, but it proves that all the signings that we've made and the tactical changes that we have made, it's all been for the better. This team is absolutely ridiculous. They are probably the best team in the world. It's just we can't get the job done in the Champions League. So that is definitely going to be one of the challenges for you all if you choose to take over this rebuild, is win the Champions League. You have everything you need to be able to do it. Clearly, as they got to the final, it's just they couldn't score. I mean, not even 1 goal to send it to extra time. That was very dirty by Chivo right there. I mean, this team's been absolutely fantastic and a lot of fun. I mean, overall, 3 Premier League titles, an FA Cup, and a Leagues Cup. I believe that is everything that we won, and I will most definitely take it. That is fantastic. 3 Premier League titles in 5 years. That is awesome. And, I mean, hey, if you decide to take over, you can go for a 4th and a Champions League title as well. And then when it comes to the Liverpool Hall of Fame as well, we even got to enter a player in there as well. At the number 1 spot, it's Mr. Matthias Fernandes. He is a club legend, as you can see right here, even ahead of Jurgen Klopp. That is absolutely amazing. Ricardo Quaresma is in there as well. I'm surprised Stevie G didn't get to the legend status. That's pretty surprising that out of everyone, it was Matthias Fernandes. That is very, very surprising. But I mean, overall, such a fun rebuild. So that about wraps things up. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, today's rebuild. I'm going to be doing more of these as well, whether they're retro ones or just normal ones in general. Once again, if you want to try out this database, I'll be linking the Mad Scientist info down below in the description. If you want to take over this save specifically, I'll be linking my Discord down in the description as well. That's where you'll be able to find it. It'll either be in the download section or the rebuild file section. I'll probably put in both so you guys can find it in both places. Download it, give it a go yourselves. I'll have challenges on there as well for you guys to achieve and push yourselves towards. But if you have enjoyed today's video, please feel free, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button? I'll be popping up a playlist on screen right now of all the tactics that I've done so far this year within FM, and on the other side of the screen, I'll be popping up a playlist of all the videos I've done so far this year for FM24. If you guys wish to keep on binging my videos. But until next time, everyone, have a good one. Bye.